And good evening and welcome to another edition of Talkin' Wrestling. Along with my co-host by phone, Smokin Jim Frazier, I am Ralph Williams. Those of you who are new to the program, Smokin Jim, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ralph, for having me. I appreciate it, buddy.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. And the main reason tonight, we have a lot to talk about, Smokin Jim, especially WWE, a lot going on this past Monday night's Raw episode. Last night was AEW Dynamite. They moved it to Tuesday to accommodate something else. So AEW had to be moved. It was a very good match last night between Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page for the title. Moxley retained, but next month, or at the Full Gear pay-per-view, Smokin Jim, it's going to be Jon Moxley versus MJF. He decided to cash in his coin last night and make a match for Full Gear. So we're going to find out what happens there. Full Gear is November 19th. And also don't forget the week before that we have the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view coming up at the as well for the WWE. We'll talk a little bit about that tonight. But first, we can go over Monday night's Raw card, which and I found out something very interesting, Smokin Jim, and we could start off with this tonight. Edge is putting together a faction to go after the Judgment Day, and you're not going to guess in a million years who's going to be in his faction. You ready for this? If it can happen, it's going to be Edge, the Dudley Boys, and his wife Beth Phoenix, and possibly Tommy Dreamer.
Wow.
Okay, if he can get it that way, because see, Tommy Dreamer, he's an executive. He works for Impact Wrestling, and with Anthem Sports, the people who own Impact Wrestling. I don't think they're going to let him out of his contract for that match or at all. But I do know one thing: Devon Dudley works for the WWE as an instructor at NXT, but he said he doesn't want any more to do with Bully Ray. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. And Bully Ray just signed a contract with Impact and with NWA. So he's with those two branches of wrestling. And his wife, Angelina Love, is a color commentator for the NWA. So I don't see Bully Ray coming aboard. But I know Devon Dudley, him and Edge are friends from ECW. All they need is maybe one more person, and possibly and Beth Phoenix, and he's looking to put something together for a faction to go up against and take down Judgment Day. So what's your thoughts on that?
Man, that is huge. I tell you what, man, everything is heating up. It's getting exciting, brother. I tell you that.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's starting to get exciting because, we've talked many times about the Judgment Day and what they've done. This past Monday night, Dominic Mysterio took on AJ Styles. And, of course, they cheated, and Dominic ended up winning. And even with the OC on the outside. Then later on, the OC took on the Alpha Academy. And, of course, the OC won that match in convincing fashion, believe it or not. I actually thought it would be a little bit of a struggle for them, being that the Alpha Academy is supposed to be these great wrestlers, Otis and Chad Gable. But it turns out the OC beat them, and then Judgment Day come out and challenged them to a match. It's going to be the Judgment Day versus the OC with AJ Styles at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. So it's going to be the three guys against each other, and I don't know where Rhea Ripley's going to fit into this, as you well know. I would like to see Beth Phoenix or some woman wrestler come out and be on their side. I'm sure AJ Styles can recruit somebody to come out and keep Rhea Ripley at bay. I think maybe they might have a chance of winning that kind of match. What do you think?
Yeah, I do. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody end up nailing the lady in the chops. I mean, she's been really pushing the envelope, and she got pretty good size to her, and she's been taking people's legs out, knees out, and been very distractive. So whether they get a woman or not, I would not be surprised if eventually somebody cold cocks her. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. It's bound to happen. Judgment Day's bound to go down, Smokin Jim, sooner or later. The question is when and who That's going to be the biggest question here. So we'll see what happens. That's been added to the crown jewel card. We'll talk about that later as well. Rollins beat Riddle and reclaimed his U.S. title. I thought that was a really good match, but Riddle again kind of messed up on some things, and Rollins beat him. And it's just Rollins has the experience. I like Riddle. I love him to death, but Rollins, you can't. He's another John Cena, like we talked about last night. Big match, John. I mean, we talked about that last night on Sports Corner when I was telling you about the Steelers and all that coming back. When it comes to a big match, Rollins is always there for that match, and he's always prepared, and he's one of the better wrestlers in the WWE, despite the fact that he is what he is. But he just subjected to with Matt Riddle. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree with you 100%. Rollins is a huge draw.
Oh, okay. Also, we had the return of Elias. He was starting to play his music. Riddle come out with a bongo drum. And then once Riddle come out with the bongo drum, Elias actually hooked up with Riddle. And he was on the sidelines to help Riddle versus Rollins. And he actually interjected himself into the match. And because of him doing it, Riddle lost the match because he interfered with the referee. And, Rollins pulled some kind of stunt and was able to get Rollins for the curb stomp. So, and then end the match. And let me see here. Dakota.
Before you go there, I always liked Elias. He's a Western Pennsylvania guy, Pittsburgh guy from Plum High School. He was a great baseball player there. But I used to like when I liked his guitar and everything else. He's a musician. But I used to like how he used to rip on the city.
Yeah.
City. And I wish we would go back to that, man, because that
Oh.
was hilarious to me,
Hey, you know what's funny? Smokin' Jim. I watched a Raw match from Pittsburgh one time, and Corey Graves said that he saw Elias down at Market Square with a hat. He was playing his guitar down there with a hat out looking for money. And then on the same card, he said the New Day, when they used to throw that Bootio cereal into the stands, and on the same card, he says, I'm going to call the Allegheny County Health Department. That's unsanitary. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like Elias too. Do you really think Ezekiel's his younger brother, or do you think that was just some kind of an angle that they were playing with the people? What do you think about that?
Well, I tell you what, it might be his daddy's son, because I tell you, I don't know if they got the same ball, but boy, man, I tell you what, you put that, the same body type, muscle tone,
right,
same looks. His daddy might have been a Rolling Stone for all we know, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think it was just an angle. Because technically, if his brother was if that really was his brother, he would be out there with him now. And then they were even talking about an even younger brother named Ezra. And Ezra never was around. So it would have been nice to call it the Elias family or something. You know what I mean? That would have been a funny joke. I would have loved to have seen what that would look like. You know what I'm saying? So But you're watching Talking Wrestling. We're here live on YouTube and on Facebook and Twitch. With my co-host Smokin' Jim Frazier by phone. We're talking about the Monday Night Raw card. Here was something that really kind of surprised me a little bit, but it didn't. I'm sure you're aware JBL pulled Baron Corbin, or Happy Corbin at the time, into his limousine. And he hasn't been around for a few weeks, but showed up on Raw. A trade has been made. It seems that Triple H shipped Rey Mysterio off to SmackDown and decided to bring Baron Corbin to Raw. And Baron Corbin's manager happens to be JBL. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I tell you what, man. Life is always better when Happy Corbin's around, no matter what role he plays, whether whether he's homeless or he's rich. You know, he got great size, and he got a really good knack for his wrestling skits, and I always enjoy him. I guess he got to stick around until Pat McAfee gets done with football.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I don't know if McAfee could come back and start calling him bum ass Corbin. I don't know if we can do that anymore. I mean, because he's really not a bum ass anymore. He's with a really good Hall of Famer, JBL, man. If there's anybody that could manage his career, JBL's the guy. I mean, he won a lot of championships back in the day. He's one of the sons of one of the Blackjack Mulligan part of that family with the Wyndhams and the Mulligans and all that. That's all one big family. And, like the Samoans, you know what I'm saying? And, so that's, but he beat Dolph Ziggler. And I didn't think he would beat him, or I thought it would be a closer match, and it wasn't. Dolph just, I guess it was just a bad night for him considering the veteran that he is. And then your buddy Miz finally got some revenge. He was supposed to fight Dexter Lumis last night, or on Monday night, and decided to attack him from behind, coming down the ramp, and then he gave him the skull-crushing finale, and the match never happened. So, so Dexter Lumis never got his contract from the WWE yet, and not sure what's going to happen from there. But we'll see what happens at Crown Jewel if anything goes with that match. There really wasn't much going on with Raw. It was a lot of talking as usual. Lashley called out Brock Lesnar. Lesnar come out. Lashley beat him to a pulp somewhat. They kind of fought each other. But Lashley was a little more prepared this time. He speared him through the barricade and then slammed him through the announce desk. So this is going to be an ugly match. But it's going to be a good one between Lashley and Lesnar at Crown Jewel. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I tell you what, man, that was violent, man. Right at the beginning, Lashley, he was fired up, man. He was wanting blood, but I don't think that Lashley if Brock Lesnar is at his best and Lashley's at his best, I think Brock Lesnar will win that every single time. And now he's, he got an edge to him because, he got kind of beat up pretty good. And I think he's from Oklahoma, right? Was that his hometown?
Well, he went to Oklahoma, or he went to Minnesota, the University of Minnesota, Brock Lesnar. He lives in Canada. His family, they have butcher shops all over Canada.
Okay.
They own butcher shops, and he just opened up another butcher shop somewhere in the United States. I'm not sure. Lesnar is actually putting out a meat line. It's going to be called Lesnar Meats. So, you can order online or whatever, or, just like Omaha Steak and places and things like that, and Fat Daddy Meats and some of the places that I've ordered meat from. And, so those are that kind of thing. But Lesnar's family, they own several butcher shops. He gets paid $1 million per match, Smokin' Jim. So that's why he's only part-time. And he just comes once in a while to a certain pay-per-view, has a match, and he makes his $1 million. I don't think he wants to be a champ, anymore. You know what I mean? And but that's what he does. Goldberg does the same thing. They try to get him back to go up against Omos, but apparently Goldberg's contract ran out with the WWE, and they never renegotiated it. He gets $1 million per match as well, but I don't think he's going to come back. If we do see Omos at Crown Jewel, Smokin' Jim, it's going to be against Braun Strowman. What do you think about that match?
Man, I tell you what, I love Omos. He's probably, other than Wilt Chamberlain, he's probably the strongest 7-footer I ever seen. This guy got tremendous strength for somebody that tall and that type of arm span. But he can't beat.
Right. Well,
I think Omos loses that match.
Oh yeah, Braun Strowman is a better wrestler as far as that goes. Omos is still. needs some seasoning. For a big guy, he has to learn how to, at least Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar and all that. They have those what you call, they have those what you call different moves, different types of wrestling ability. Omos hasn't gotten into that. Omos just basically has been in a lot of squash matches, and what he's done is he's just overruled everything. I don't think he can live up to the competition of a Braun Strowman. I really don't believe that until he gets himself pretty well seasoned. You know what I'm saying, and things like that. So, also for the Crown Jewel card, we're also looking at Reigns versus Logan Paul. Do you see Reigns retaining his title here, or do you see this match as kind of like a joke? Because Logan Paul, I don't know what kind of chance he has.
He got a puncher's chance, man.
Right.
He lands one of those shots. You seen what Deontay Wilder did this weekend. It took me a couple takes to see when he hit the guy, when he hit him with a left hook. It was so quick, I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
The Logan Paul hits Roman Reigns with a good shot, man. He can be knocked out like anybody else. And what they used to say with those guys used to say, hey, he bleeds just like me.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm sorry. What I was going to say was the next match, of course, as you know, is Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. We just discussed that in the Judgment Day versus the OC. That's going to be an interesting match as well, depending on where it goes and how it happens. I don't know what other. Oh, and also probably I am told a rematch between Bianca Belair and Bayley. There's going to be another rematch. So that's going to happen in Raw. I don't know what's going on with SmackDown yet. We'll find out Friday, see what goes on there. Ronda Rousey, she's turned heel, and it's great to see her as a heel because that's the best role for her, I think. What's your thoughts on Ronda Rousey and the SmackDown Women's Champion?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think Ronda has to be a champion. I think that the heel roles, I think she plays that very, very well. She's tough. She's intense. She's a big name. She's a competitor, and I don't think she would settle for anything less than the championship.
Right. Oh, yeah, she wouldn't be here if she wasn't the champion. That's a simple fact. She would have to be the champion to be here. That's probably in her contract, and she probably told the WWE that's not going to happen. We have some possible still rumored returns. Charlotte Flair's coming back for Royal Rumble. And then also Randy Orton. There still hasn't been any word yet on what's happening with him. I do know he was supposed to come back for the Royal Rumble. And Cody Rhodes, his return has been pushed to WrestleMania because his progress is not real as fast as Randy Orton's has been. Now, if Randy Orton goes for back surgery, he could be out even longer. But I'm hearing stories now that he's trying to do it without the surgery and trying to get back by Royal Rumble. So we'll see what he does there, Randy Orton. What's your thoughts on that?
Randy's just, a great wrestler, great name. Hopefully he's getting to that age now where accumulation of injuries, could be a thing of his future. So he may want to cut back on the number of times that he does wrestle, but he's just so much fun. I can't wait for him to be.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Big E to come back too. Yeah, I'm waiting for Big E to come back too. We'll see what happens with Big E. What's your thoughts on Big E?
You think Big E will come back? Be back?
I think he might be back by Royal Rumble. He's right now he's a coach down at NXT. He's working as a coach right now. They're easing him into coming back. I'm told that he has progressed a little bit, but they're taking it slow, and the medical staff is going to keep an eye on him, the WWE medical staff, to see what's going to happen. If not Royal Rumble, probably WrestleMania or a pay-per-view in between or something. He's going to make a return. And I'm told he's coming back, and he's probably going to be with the New Day. And also I'm hearing stories WWE wants to come up with a new championship, for Raw and SmackDown both. I'm not sure exactly what it is. They have finally done away with the 24/7 championship. They have finally done away with that. And so,
Wow.
yeah, Smokin' Jim, you have to agree that championship was just ridiculous. I mean, it was.
All I can say is that sexy blonde that had it there for a while.
Oh, you mean Dana White or whatever her name was? Yeah, yeah.
Shit,
Dana Brooks, that's it. Dana Brooks.
I was all in favor of her having it. That's for sure.
Yeah, Dana Brooks had it for a little while there. Tamina Snuka had it. R-Truth is being brought back to the WWE. He's going to be teaming up with Sheldon Benjamin, and they're going to Triple H is putting them two together as a team. So we'll see how that works. What's your thoughts on that team?
Well, I think that team ain't too bad, but I wish that MVP would put together another team, man, and maybe have almost headline it.
Oh, you mean like another Hurt Business? Oh, yeah. I love the Hurt Business. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. And
yeah.
MVP can just talk it, man. He just knows how to talk it and gets under people's skin. And so I guess he's going to always walk with a cane.
Well, yeah.
As a weapon, right?
Yeah. We'll see what happens with that. I would like to see the Hurt Business come back. Omos head that up. Bring back Cedric Alexander and maybe or whatever, find somebody, you know what I mean, bring him in. Have that Shelton Benjamin and R-Truth. I mean, that would be an excellent faction right there with just those guys, you know, and I think that would be interesting. Can you imagine them going up against a Bloodline? Oh, my gosh.
Oh, wow.
That would be a dream match and happening, man. I'll tell you what, you would sell out the arena in 2 seconds if you had that kind of match. You know, you might see something like that for Survivor Series, because I'm told this year they're going to try to do the traditional teams again, like they've done in the past, the Survivor Series. So let's see what they do with that. You know, I miss the teams that they used to have put together. I remember the one time Roddy Piper put a team together, and it was a 4-man team. And they said to him, "Oh, Piper, you'll never find anybody because you have no friends." Guess who his team was? It was Superfly Snuka and the Bushwhackers.
Wow.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And so.
Whatever happened to my man Alvin Putski? That was my favorite wrestler.
I know he's still alive. As far as I know, I haven't. I could check and find out. I could, do some digging. I'll get back to you next week on that. I could probably do that. That thing with Claudio and Bruno, for the dedication. Yeah, Dominic DeNucci was there. Yeah, he's still around, looking better than ever. And he was real close friends with Bruno Sammartino. And we could do that. We know where some of these wrestlers are. They're either up with the Lord or they're somewhere else. I understand Ric Flair wants to come back to the WWE. In what capacity, I don't know. But rumor has it he may come back as well. Let's run over the Dynamite card from last night. Jericho beat Dalton Castle to reclaim his ROH championship. Death Triangle beat the Best Friends the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy teamed up to go up against the Death Triangle for the Trios Championship. Death Triangle won. That's Pac and the Penta Brothers. Also, Toni Storm, she beat Hiroshita to retain her interim AEW championship. And AEW Full Gear, as I mentioned probably earlier, is November 19th. And the only match so far is Jon Moxley versus MJF. For some weird reason last night on AEW, there was a lot of talking and not a lot of wrestling. I guess that's what they chose to do last night, more or less. And Jade Cargill's trying to get her belt back from the lady that Vicky Guerrero manages at Nyla Rose. She's a huge-looking woman. I don't know if you ever seen her with Vicky Guerrero in AEW. Oh, my gosh. But you know what? That's a good match because them two are tough women. I mean, it's nice to always see two tough women go against each other. Remember when you used to have the Victorias and all them the real tough ones. Jackie, remember Jackie? Oh my gosh, she could slam a man. And go up against China and back in the day when they had the tough wrestlers going up against each other. Yeah, I mean Molly Holly. I mean Molly Holly was even a tough wrestler. She was built, and Beth Phoenix, Mickey James is still wrestling. I'm here. She's in the NWA now. She was supposed to come back to the WWE, but that's not going to happen. Her husband is Josh Matthews on Impact, and he's doing stuff behind the scenes now. Tom Phillips, the former announcer for the WWE, is their head announcer now with Don Callis, who formerly was a manager. But anyway, I want to go over the NXT card real quick. Which is this coming Saturday. I'm going to miss it, but I'll watch it on the replay because I have a prior obligation in Greensburg. Braun Breaker versus J.D. McDonald and Ilya Dragunov in a triple threat match for the NXT title. What's your thoughts on that one, Smokin' Jim? I see Braun Breaker taking this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's in shape. You ever see any highlights when he played football?
No, I did not. I have to check it out.
Great high school running back, man. He had a lot of speed, man. He ran up and down the field on those guys. But Braun Breaker, this is his time right now. I'm surprised they haven't pulled him up yet to the WWE.
Well, he's supposed to lose the title. He's supposed to lose the title at the end of the year, and then they're going to bring him up. That's what I'm told on Braun Breaker. So, Mandy Rose, your girlfriend, versus Alba Fry for the NXT Women's Championship match. Another one of your favorites, Carmelo Hayes and Oro Mensah, Wes Lee, and Von Wagner in a fatal four-way for the and Nathan Frazier in a fatal five-way ladder match for the North American Championship. What's your thoughts on that match?
Well, they got to watch out, man. That Frazier's very athletic, man. He's a daredevil, man.
Right.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
Ladder match, you got to be fearless, man. And this guy don't care if he breaks his neck or not, man. And he's so athletic. So, but I'm always gonna go with the guy that can't miss, Carmelo. Carmelo is I'm gonna go with him no matter what.
Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez in a spin the wheel match and make a deal weapons wild match. So apparently they already spun the wheel and it landed on a weapons wild match. So that's what they're doing there. Next, Apollo Crews. We all know about him. He's going to be going up against Grayson Waller. You know, Grayson Waller's due to lose. He's got this stuck-up attitude like his doo-doo don't stink. Apollo Crews says he's going to smack it off his face. And I agree. Apollo Crews is a good wrestler. NXT is the perfect place for him right now. He can get some more seasoning down there, and then maybe they can rebrand him coming back up to the WWE. Look at Finn Balor. I mean, they've sent him down there a few times, Samoa Joe, and, so, if you're interested in what Samoa Joe's doing, he's teaming up with Wardlow now. Samoa Joe's the TV champion for ROH, and Wardlow is the TBS or TNT champion for AEW. They're going after the Acclaim coming up soon for their tag team belts, and they might have double belts. So we're going to find out what's going on with that. That's going to be a real interesting match to look at. If you're, where are they now? We can go into some of the wrestlers that were in the WWE and where they are now. Also, in fact, next week, if you want, we can dedicate a show to that, where we'll talk about wrestlers that were in the WWE and where are they now, and some of the retired wrestlers, like we mentioned before, the Ivan Putskis of the world, and the superstar Billy Graham. I'm here on the WWF scene. I'm superstar Billy Graham. Oh, I saw some classic matches with him and Ivan Putski at the old Civic Arena in a cage match. Oh my gosh, Putski beat him all over the place, bloodied his face and everything. And then guess how Guess how Superstar won the match? He ran out the door was unlocked. In them days, the door was unlocked, and then you could escape the cage. He ran right out the door and escaped the cage. I said, "Oh my gosh." He did nothing in that match, nothing. Putski beat him all over the place, and all of a sudden he slides right out the door. I said, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh." Yeah, I tell you what. Speaking of that, next week when we do that, Kamala's in bad health. I mean, I think he had his legs amputated. He's in bad health.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they had a Facebook GoFundMe page for him and stuff. He's in real bad shape. Some of these wrestlers Smoking Jim, they went into drugs and booze and gambling and look at Scott Hall and some of these other guys and stuff. So we can talk about that as well next week. We're going to dedicate our show to that. Julius Creed versus Damon Kemp in an ambulance match, and Brutus Creed has to leave. He's part of that one little faction I told you about last Thursday with Broderick Strong, who's hurt. Brutus Creed will have to leave NXT if Damon Kemp wins. So we're going to find out how that goes for this week's Halloween Havoc. Any final thoughts, Smoking Jim, before we wrap up?
No, man. This has been a great show, man.
Always is.
How Claudio said, very informative and entertaining.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Listening to you, bro.
I appreciate that, man. I really do. I appreciate the kind words, and you as well. I always appreciate you being on as my co-host. You bring your wisdom as well. We had a good time last night with Sports Corner. I thought that was a really great show. Our comeback show because, we were off the week before, and it was great to, always have the return of Sports Corner. It's kind of like the return of Michael Myers. You know what I mean? Oh, by the way, before we go, did you check out Halloween Ends yet? It's on HBO now. It's on demand.
Who?
Halloween Ends.
What is that?
Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis, the Halloween series. Halloween Ends is out
No, I've never heard of it.
Yeah. You know the Halloween movies from 1978, the John Carpenter movie and all that? Oh, get out of here. Wow. Boy, where have you been smoking, Jim? Everybody knows about Halloween. But anyway, I do want to tell you, Stallone is coming out with a new series called Tulsa King. It's going to be on...
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Station. How do I get that?
It's Paramount. Do you have Comcast?
I have Infinity. Yeah, I guess Comcast.
Yeah. If you have Xfinity Comcast, what you do is you go on your on-demand and punch up Paramount Plus, and you can subscribe right there, and they'll add it in your bill. And Paramount Plus. That's how you do that. So you can also do that with Netflix too. If you want to watch anything on Netflix right on your TV, they have an option there where you can get the monthly payment added to your bill. You know what I mean? Okay. So yeah. Yeah. So.
Because I would like to see that. That looks like it's going to be good.
Oh, that's going to be a fun thing. Stallone is always the best. And he's not going to be in Creed 3 coming up next year. He's not going to be involved in that movie at all. But I hear Adonis Creed's going to go up against Clubber Lang's nephew, and that's going to be an interesting fight there.
How can Stallone not be? He created Creed. How he's not involved in it?
I don't know. I'm hearing rumors he's not involved, but he says he may be. Because if you watch Creed 2, he walked away in the audience when Adonis Creed turned around. He was gone. Stallone was gone. I mean, he wasn't even there.
Getting a paycheck from it? That's what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, he might be getting some royalties from it, I would imagine. Yeah, but I mean, he's not going to be starring in it. He's not going to be in it at all. So, okay. Yeah, but I do know. Stallone said, "You never know. I might be in it. I might not." At this point, he hasn't been invited. He's not going to be in it. So, yeah, if you watch the Creed 2, after he beat up Drago's kid, Adonis Creed, and he won that match, Stallone walked away, and when Adonis turned his head to look to see if Stallone was there, he was gone. So that was the I'm gone, I'm done. You know what I mean? Okay. So, but this it's coming up next year sometime. And they're also coming out with an Equalizer 3 too. They're coming out with Denzel Washington will be back. That's going to be interesting to see what that is.
That's some of my favorite movies, and Equalizer 1 and 2 were very good, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a movie with Denzel the other night. One of my favorites, Courage Under Fire. I watched that the other day. You know.
Whoa, where was that at?
That was in 1995. It was.
No, I seen that, but I mean, when was it? When did you watch? Where did you watch it at?
I watched it the other night. It was on Stars or one of them channels.
Okay.
Because I have everything.
I'm probably going to rewatch Crimson Tide. That's another one I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Remember the Titans. That was a good movie.
Okay, I've never seen that.
Oh, you have to, man. We're going to change the way we block. That's a true story. That's about Herman Boone, who was a black coach. He was an assistant coach, and he got turned down for a black, because he was black. And the college or the high school that he went to apply even told him, because you're black, and he sued them and he won. So in order to make right with, I guess, the community and all that, they decided to hire him as the coach. The head coach, and they merged a bunch of schools together back in the times in segregation, trying to put black and white in the same school at the time in Virginia. That was a real heavy thing, and he was the coach. Will Patton was his assistant, and they ended up winning the state title, and but it was a hard fought thing because a lot of the white players didn't want to play for him. And they felt that the assistant coach, Will Patton, who was supposed to be the head coach, should have got the job. And it was a big fuss between everybody. It's a good movie. You got to check it out. And, I play some of the footage once in a while. We're going to change the way we block. We're going to change the way we eat. We're going to change the way we crap. We're going to change the way we do. It's a fun. Yeah, and he's a head coach. And Herman Boone only had 6 plays in his playbook. And, yeah. And, because one of the assistants said, here, how about some trick plays, maybe, make things fun. He says, I got 6 plays and that's all I run. And they all work. So, and you're going to love it. One kid fumbles the ball, and he says, you're going to run this ball, and you're going to run all around this field with this ball in your hand for miles. And the next time you fumble it, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to shove it up your John Brown hind parts. I'm like, oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good movie. You got to watch it. It's called Remember the Titans. And Any Given Sunday is one of my favorites too. We'll do something on that we'll do that on a sports corner some night. We'll go over some of the great sport movies. Like Friday Night Lights, Any Given Sunday, the Invincible one with Vince Papale. That was a good movie. Brian's Song. I can name you a whole bunch because I watched pretty much most of them. And stuff. So but we'll do that one of these days. All right, everybody, we're going to stop talking about movies and sports because this is a wrestling program, so we're done talking tonight. And for Smokin' Jim Frazier, I'm Ralph Williams. It's a pleasure. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631. It's going to be myself, Smokin' Jim Frazier, and our contributor, Clayton Trudor, makes his appearance again, and Mark Mancini. It's going to be the 4 of us, and we're going to have a blast tomorrow night. Talking wrestling. I have some other details that I'll bring up to you tomorrow night about some stuff going on in the wrestling world, and I'll probably have some new information for you as always. And I always bring it, Smokin' Jim, and I'll bring it tomorrow night again at 8 o'clock on Blog Talk Radio. For Smokin' Jim Frazier, I am Ralph Williams. Have a good night, and please be safe.